Welcome into this week's episode of Untold Stories, a weekly D&D campaign set in the world of Elvoria. We're back with these wonderful humans to roll some dice, attempt some questionable accents, and hopefully tell a decent story. A few announcements up. We're recording this a little bit ahead of time, so we're not 100% certain of this, but the Realms of Wonder Kickstarter, Rhoam and Ramble's Realms of Wonder Kickstarter, should now be live, so if you want to pick up a book with 7 fantastical and exciting new domains to explore with your players, as well as 13 subclasses, a bunch of new spells, magic items, and more, do go head over to the Kickstarter and support it now. The link will be in the description.
Can you say that as a tongue twister, please?
What, Rhoam and Ramble's Realms of Wonder?
Yes.
Good job, there you go. I think it's that way. It might be Ramble and Rhoam's. We may have changed things. Who knows? Anyway, similarly...
The book is available.
You can support the Kickstarter. Now, I'm not good at this. Similarly, at the point this comes out, there is a couple of weeks left to nominate for the Crit Awards. So if you haven't nominated your favourite creators in the TTRPG space, do go do that. It doesn't have to be us. It can be anyone that you have found interesting in the TTRPG industry in the last year for the cool stuff they have released, including artists, writers, and podcasters. And lastly, in this game, we make use of the Reimagined Classes designed by myself. They are available on the DM's Guild as a bundle, so you can get them really cheap. And you can embody Balrick, Lesley, Aderyn, or Ximori at your own tables, or whatever crazy characters you want to make up on the fly. And lastly, all NPC art is provided by Aderyn Angelini's Art Venturing Guild, and the character art is produced by @LiveDoodles. If we use the battle map Chibi art, it's been made by WeTheDreamingDesigns. Definitely go check out those artists and support all the other real artists in the world as well. With those announcements out the way, it is time to continue telling our story. Last time out, you once again split the group, with most of you heading into the Worm's Seal, the city's one and only magic shop, and in fact the only magic shop for hundreds of miles in the Empire that restricts their existence. Meanwhile, Ximori quickly excused themselves from such an endeavour for their own personal reasons, and instead decided to go shopping for the equipment needed for your sewer excursion in a couple of days. Those of you in the shop came face to face with Marina Martel, the owner of the shop, and their Somali cat, Raleigh, where you spoke about what you were actually looking for, including enchanting existing items. She wrote up a itinerary inventory for you. What's the word I'm actually looking for there? Invoice, that's the term, for you, so you could go find someone to approve your acquisition of Electrum pieces from the Imperial Bank to purchase these magic items. Obviously, there is only a few hours left of the day before shops close, so you may need to try and expedite this. Ximori found all the equipment needed and then decided to head to a BDSM shop to acquire masks. Tarquin, Ophidian, and Shu helping them along the way and inquiring as to what had exactly happened at the Midnight Mist the night before. At the end of things, Ximori then headed back to the accommodation you all have in the Horizon Ward, while the rest of you figured out what you were going to do next. And we will zoom back in on Jade, with the 5 of you having left the Worm Seal and started walking northwards to decide where you're going to get sign-off for the Electrum that you want. Step 1 for all of you would be heading to the Officio Arcanum itself that Togrim has already been to get the necessary forms to request the Electrum.
So we have to go get the forms, go to people to get them, and then bring them back. You can't just go... Okay.
Well, you have to get forms, get them signed, then take to the bank. You don't need to go back to the Officio Arcanum at that point. Like,
I get you now. Well, I guess that's what we do.
Fair enough. You head to the Officio Arcanum, which is essentially the DMV, and not enjoyable, but usefully also not that busy because they don't usually have a lot of people that they have to see. It's just not a happy, fun place to be. You eventually wind your way through the queues and come face to face to an elven woman sitting behind the desk, having just stabbed off a couple of forms. How can I help?
Tauri, I guess we need to get some forms.
You're holding up the line. Come on, what do you need?
We need some forms to fill out to trade gold for Electrum. Gold and gems.
Right, okay. Do you have the list of objects you're attempting to purchase and the quantity required?
Yes, and I'll pass across the notary.
Okay, give me a second here. Goes into a filing cabinet, pulls out a form, and just starts copying it across. Is this everything, or does there need to be an additional stipend on top of for anything? What required?
Just
taxes?
Quickly look at everyone else.
Tips or other required equipment. Remember that any unused Electrum should be returned to the bank before the end of the day.
I think we should get out a little bit extra just in case the work required is more.
An additional 10% maybe to be returned if it's not needed for any unforeseen costs by the enchanter.
Certainly. The Martells are well known for the quality of their goods, and often people wish to purchase more. Let me just do the maths here, and for the sake of things, I've slightly increased the prices just to represent the Empire's limiting on magic, but should still be attainable. So it is 800 on scrolls, 800 Electrum, this is 800 Electrum for the bow enchantment, and it's recorded as 1800 for the scimitars 2 specifically enchantment. It is separated into two separate entities, so it's up to you whether you're actually requisitioning both. Lesley, it's up to you.
Lesley might have to pay a visit to somebody else. That's okay.
Are you requisitioning both?
Yeah, I think we're sick.
Okay. So that's another 1800 on top of 1600. That is 3400 Electrum pieces. Add an additional 10% on top. Let's round that to 3,750 Electrum pieces.
So halved. I'm just doing the maths separately to the...
7 is 1850.
Cool. I pass over... Well, I assume we would have...
You're not at a bank right now. This is just the amount that you're requesting.
Yeah.
That is a healthy sum, and you will need to obtain a signature of a notary member who can sign this. Did you have a particular individual in mind?
I assume we would have discussed this as we walked over.
Yeah, talking to him, would you have brought it up?
Yeah, probably. But how we could go and ask him. I'm not sure. Do we need to put his name down on this form? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, we need to tell them now. That's why I was saying we probably would have had this discussion as we came over.
Yeah.
Cool, so I say his name because I cannot remember the professor's name off the top of my head.
Naborin Lian.
Certainly, I'll put that down. I'm assuming they're over at the Amaranthine Institute.
Yes.
Well, there you go. Go get their signature and notary stamp, and then take that to the bank to acquire your needs. They will need to input down the reason that you're acquiring these goods as per their requirements.
Of course. Yep, I get out of the way.
Queue moves along, next people come up. And
As we leave, I want to ask people, like, do we have this much money between us?
Well, I know currently I cannot afford all of the spell scrolls. I can put in, whatever I owe. I have 116 minus whatever I owe Ximori for the boots.
Oh,
Leslie's gonna need to go to the, was it Glide?
Yeah.
Glide. Leslie's gonna have to return.
Glide won't be open until the evening.
Oh, but these weapons, they won't be ready for 3 days. But we have to go to the sewers tonight. Wait, when's the sewers?
Sewers in 2 days. Second day.
Sewers in 2 days. And these will be ready in 3 days?
Put it this way, we are not getting these ordered today.
but we need to pay for them today.
You don't have to. The commentary about returning any unspent Electrum is the day that you take the Electrum out, it needs to be returned by the end of that business day. So if you get the Electrum out after the festival, it's that day, essentially.
So basically we have to get out the Electrum now, which is frankly not gonna happen, and give the money now and get them in. Well, we will probably be waiting 3 days after the festival anyway for any enchantments to be done. So there's not really any point in us trying to desperately get the cash together now.
Do you reckon if we can get it officiated, like we just need to take it to the bank, take that to Marina as proof, and then she'll accept the commissions?
Maybe we could
don't know. I would find it. I have a question of if she is enchanting your bow, surely you will want that in the sewers while we are doing stuff down there. If she has your bow.
I've got
maybe?
thoughts.
Do you think maybe she'd take something as a deposit? As a show of good faith?
But only Electrum. That's how it works here.
Surely if we get the writ that says we're able to get this Electrum out, and then just show Marina that, Marina will be like, okay, I can see that you're going to provide that.
You can ask her.
Either way, we should get this signed by
the Professor. Yes. Yes, getting this signed sooner rather than later gives us greater flexibility.
Mm-hmm. Let's do that then.
Do we all want to go, or would it make sense for Togrim and another to go?
Probably just me, rather than just like all parading into his office.
Give us magic weapons!
Yeah. Maybe Balrick if he wants to come because he's seen the Professor before.
Sure.
Makes sense.
I don't mind going alone.
Speaking of, that's reminded me. The entire time people have been staring at Deck as you've been wandering through the streets, whispering common thing. At moments, small children have approached Deck wanting to pet him.
They can try. How aggressive? How's their animal handling?
Yeah. Not great. They're a bit rushed, and so Deck just kind of...
Shall I roll an intimidation check?
Yeah, I mean, you let me know how Deck responds to kids kind of running up to pet him.
Deck got a 4 on intimidation. So kind of, he's not... He's empty brain.
Okay. The no response is met to Deck, and the kids end up disappointed in being unable to. Anyway, sorry. So just Togrim's heading over to the professor's, yeah? What are the rest of you planning on doing?
Go with Togrim.
Go to Porch, going with Togrim?
Gonna give Togrim a little pep talk before he enters.
So you're all heading to the Institute regardless.
I've gone back to the house because I didn't know this was a part of the plan.
How could you know? So you head to the Amaranthine Institute. Is there anything anyone else wants to do at the Amaranthine Institute while Togrim and Balrick head over to the professors?
I want to see if we can, what the library hours are.
Yeah, I'll briefly touch on that. The library is open pretty much indefinitely. It's the public library of the city. So it's manned at all times. It will shut for Tian longer.
I assume that would be the case.
That is one of the few times of the year that it is closed. But other than that, basically stuck. So basically, it's open till midnight tonight, after which it is shut for 3 days. But Togrim, you head over to the arcane portion of the university and head to Professor Lant's study. The door is closed as you approach, rather than the half ajar it was previously. But you knock on the door, and inside you just hear, "Oh, give me a moment," and you just hear like the shuffling of some stuff around, a door kind of closing, and then he comes over and opens the door. Ah, Togrim, back so soon. What can? Did you wish to study or?
Actually, we were out shopping today before Tianlong, and some of my friends wanted some magical items, some scrolls and things. We were wondering if you would sign the writ to approve them.
I'm happy to take a look. I might require some justification. Do you mind if I?
I know it's very short notice and everything. It's just we were out shopping and
if you're going to be a field researcher for me, it might prove useful that you have some additional support. So let me take a look. Come in. He takes it to his desk, sits down, and scrolls it open. Well, the scrolls seem perfectly fine to me. Nothing to be concerned about here. But the enchantments on the weapons. Planning on ending up placed somewhere dangerous?
Well, we are. I guess, yes. We're traveling across the land. It's weapons we already have. It's not fresh weapons.
The enchantment isn't anything too substantial, I suppose, and it should help you out a little bit. It's quite a lot of money being requested. Do you have these funds?
I think we have most of it, not all of it, yes. I will be emptying our pockets for sure, but I think we're close.
In the interest of making sure too many eyes aren't staring down at us, can I just ask about these 2 sword scimitars? Is 2 definitely required? Is there 2 individuals in your party that plan on using them?
It is the one person. They are dual wielding those 2 swords.
Right.
As far as I understand, they're prized weapons. Lesley has carried them ever since I've known them.
Well,
All of 1 month.
Yeah. We have very little background into why those swords are being carried at all. It's just that's what you have.
I'll be honest, I'm a little hesitant to requisition quite that many dangerous items, as it were. If they were a little more protective, it might be a different situation. I'm happy for if they are protecting you from whatever happens. The bow and one of the scimitars, I think, is sufficient.
Okay.
Maybe in future we can discuss. So I'm just going to amend this. What I do think might be useful, that I'm fairly certain Marina does have, is something that can contain multiple... No, you actually have a bag of holding already, don't you? So That should be
Yes.
fine.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm just going to amend this just to be the requisite for one of these scimitars. I'll keep the additional 10% that was applied on top. So we're just going to reduce that by 800 electrum pieces. So that brings it down to 2950 electrum pieces, and I'm perfectly happy to sign this. Does this all seem fine to you?
That seems acceptable. Yes. Thank you very much.
Well, be certain to put it to good use. Do let me know when you're planning on leaving the city.
Yes.
Tianlong will obviously
I'm
get
sure I will be
away.
back. Yes, before. At the
I
end of
would like to
Tianlong.
see you before you leave so I can understand where you're going and what you can do for me.
Of course.
Well, thank you very much. He signs it with a quill, digs out a sigil of the Amaranthine Institute, dips it in wax, seals that off as authorized. If you have any questions, obviously they will come to me. So, there you go.
Thank you very much.
Was there anything else?
Not for today. It was just a quick shopping trip before the festival, and I will definitely be back afterwards.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the celebration. Goddess be with you.
You too. And I think I'll just head back outside. I don't know if everyone waited for me or not.
Balrick came with you.
Or do we
And
just plan
Lesley
to
was
meet back
really
back?
saying in your ear, it would be so cool to have 2 scimitars that were magical. 2 would be really cool.
It would be really cool. Unfortunately, I couldn't swing them. I've only
Hey!
met the guy twice.
That's bad.
That's an interesting point, actually. Feel free to roll insight.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Is my side. 10.
No idea.
Fair enough.
He seems to be willing to help you be an effective field researcher. That's all you
Fair
get.
enough. Cool.
But you head out. You'd previously discussed with Lesley, Tauri, and Aderyn that you'd meet them at the public library because Tauri was dragging them there. And so you will convene back up at the library at the centre of the Amaranthine Institute complex. With a few hours left before sunset at this point, with the amount you've been walking around town, shopping, signs, and that kind of stuff.
Alright, do we want to head back to Marina then? With the successful bit?
We'd have to go to the bank and get the money first.
To see if she'll accept that. Because do we want to pay? Can you guys pay her up front? I could pay up front, if you want me to cover it, but you'll owe me.
Do you have that much? What is it, 29 something, Kevin?
It's just under 3,000.
It's 3,000 electrum, so it's 1,500 gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have 1,500 gold.
Okay.
I have 1,600 and something. In variety of materials.
What time
Some
of
of it
day
is
is
Aderyn.
it by now, Gath?
Late afternoon.
I don't know if the bank will be open, or they'll be able to get this amount that quickly.
I mean, it's a trading city. Surely they'll have reserves. They'll have it. I don't think this is that much, all things considered. But I think that it could be fine to just wait till we've done a couple of jobs and get money together after the fact. It's just we should go see her so that she can get the things that we want done prepared. So after Tianlong, it'll be quicker.
We can. How about this? Maybe we can show her the gold to show her that we're good for it, along with the writ, and then we can discuss the finer matters of how much whoever owes Balrick at the end of the day. I think that's fine.
So you want to get the money out first?
No, I mean, I think we can show her the gold. Like, we're good for it. We've got the writ. We will do it.
We're going to wait till after Tianlong.
Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe we don't want to have a lot of electrum on us. I'm sure there's a good reason to not change the
I
money.
just explain that, like, I'm good for the gold. I just prefer you guys to have it.
Yeah.
Still understand.
What? Weird.
Do you want to just get the money out first? And you guys can just pay me back.
I feel like that's going to be a painful process. Lesley will give a very pitiful amount. Wait, how much is Lesley actually getting out of this? It's 700.
It is 800 electrum pieces for a +1 something.
So 400 gold.
Okay. Lesley does not have that. But Lesley does have beautiful long eyelashes that he's going to bat. And give you 172.
Balrick is becoming the bank of the party.
172 gold
Let
pieces
me track what I'm owed. 1 minute.
as down payment.
Where do I even write this? We write this in character backstory. So, debts.
Wait, I will.
Debt collection. So Lesley owes 400. Is paying 172 now.
Which means I owe you 200
228.
and 20. Yeah.
Who else wants to give to the bank of Balrick?
Okay, that's 0 gold. Ah!
Let me just add that to there. So that's 178. Did you say? So that's
172. So I owe you 228.
497. Cool. Yep. Anyone else? Who else is buying stuff? Tauri?
Tauri will not take you up on it, only because she doesn't want to have to owe you money.
Tauri's going to pay for her own scrolls then.
So she's going to wait until she has the money to get Tiny Hut, probably.
Cool.
Oh, you mean you're not going to get it now?
Tauri doesn't have the money. She's not going to spend money she doesn't have.
Tauri also can't cast.
Do we have to get this money out? If
No,
Tiny
we
Hut
don't. Like, that's what I'm saying. We don't have to.
So the form that you have allows you to take up to the amount that is on the form.
I see.
Right? You do not have to take out 3,000 electrum pieces. You can take out up to 3,000 electrum pieces, but it is a one-time transaction on that form. After that, you will have to get another form and repeat the process.
Right. Well, then we should probably. Sorry, Lesley. We should probably go back there and tell her that we're what we'd like.
I think we go to her first, see how it works, because I don't want to have to go through getting the form again and then going back to the professor again.
Oh my god. They make it so hard to get magic items here.
I know. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, what was this? I was going to say something. Yeah, there's no like date on this that it has to be taken out today, is it?
No.
It has
Minutia of the banking form.
the form has a 1 month expiry.
1 month expired. Yeah. Yep. See, we've got
Plenty of time.
This time. I hate that you made us go to the fantasy DMV.
yeah.
And I'm going to the fantasy bank and ask. I'm asking Balrick for a fantasy loan. He's gonna make fantasy interest off of me.
I'm gonna say, can I invest
Trade.
in the stock market through Leslie's money?
The stock. I want to be very clear. The stock market is this courtyard where criminals who have done misdemeanors are put in places, and people take bets on how whether someone is going to hit them with a rotten tomato, and that's what the stock market is.
That sounds like a good way to make money, though. Let's go there. Wait, can I have some money back so I can gamble it?
No.
Balrick, please.
This is what Aderyn has to live through.
Lesley,
Everyone's money.
for earning money, immediately
Please.
moves to gambling.
Just 2 goals. I can win big.
I promise I'm good for it, man.
Let me sort out the paperwork first. Let's sort out my fantasy forms. Make sure all the fantasy signatures are there.
It's not a problem if I win.
And what is happening right now? Okay.
I do not know.
I
was
feel-
letting you guys do maths.
You've made me so stressed with this fantasy.
Can we go to Marina
Yeah.
and ask her, what do we do?
You head down to the one seal, opening the doors. The cat is Raleigh kind of welcomes by like weaving in between your feet. Deck's with you, right? Yeah. And then jumps onto Deck's back as Deck is walking through the shop. Deck doesn't seem to mind. And the cat's just there, just on top of this small drake. Marina does come back out. It's like, so soon. You managed to find someone to authorize that relatively quickly. For people who don't know what they're doing here, do seem to have some contacts in town already.
You were, what can I say? We're very charismatic folk, apparently.
Indeed, some of you are. Please do take a seat. And she takes a seat down at the table again. So,
I asked clarifying how this works. Like, we want to get the work started as soon as possible.
okay.
I understand the Tian Long has happened. So
Yes, I will not be working for 3 days.
if we gave you our items or gave you our requests now, would that be best?
It would allow me to prioritize them over any other work that comes in, if you wanted that. And certainly, if you handed over anything of yours that you wanted enchanted, I could at least start the process before tomorrow.
In which case, we would like to do that. Do you want payment up front, or is it sort of a once it's done?
Since you seem to be handing over something of sentimental value, so actually, roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, 13.
13. Since it's of a sentiment, have you got the requisite forms approved and signed off?
Form, and just to sort of prove I'm good for money, I'll get out the bag of gems. I'm good for money.
Very well. Seeing as it's seemingly an object of sentimental value to you, I think I can expect you to return for it. As for you, Lesley, you asked me to look to see whether I had anything already enchanted to that effect. Nothing of curved dancing blade effect. However, this may interest you. You've noticed at this point in the table there is something, a blade-like object wrapped up in a silk cloth, which she does unfold. And what you see is a delicate short sword. The guard of which is designed to look like a pair of dragonfly wings with enamel painting into the hilt to add that colour effect. Kind of a blue stained steel as the metal, and then wrapped up in green leather as the handle. The blade itself relatively straight, and then tapers to a thin point. This would constitute a +1 short sword, but the overall design effect here is of like a dragonfly-esque design.
Just before anything else, he's really upset Sarah's not here because she would freak at that. So I think you have to take that, because Sarah, it's Sarah's spirit animal as a dragonfly. She would be like going crazy, and I feel like that would leak into Aderyn as well, as it's a dragonfly. So,
But they match.
the aesthetic, I know.
She does gently lift it up and allow you to just kind of test the weight of it.
Does it feel good?
It feels so. Your blades the way you fight with the blades currently is quite momentum-y. Like it's just constant motion. This thing feels like it is light and flitty almost. Like it would it's very easy to change direction on it rather than having to go with momentum. It's a different balance.
I'll still be able to use one scimitar and the short sword.
Both are light finesse weapons.
Ugh, the vibes, Gethin.
I think short swords are piercing.
Yeah, I think that's the fundamental difference. One's piercing.
So you've essentially got like a big cutting one and then a stabby stab one. Leslie's been given the option of getting a dragonfly sword. And
What?
Emma's going, but do I want it? It doesn't fit my aesthetic.
Do you want it?
Let's get
No, I would love it. I would love it if there were two.
Dragonfly sword.
You better get it.
Can you imagine if there were three, and then we could have matching swords? Cute, right?
Do they have a dragonfly dagger?
Yeah. I'm just gonna, in my mind, call it a scimitar, and I'll be okay with it. It's a dragonfly scimitar. That's wonderful. How nice.
It's a short.
Nope.
Perfect.
It just
Plus
means
the sword, and it's still 700, right?
This actually comes down to 700 because she's already enchanted it at this point and doesn't have to deal with it. It's of a higher grade quality, so it's already been dealt with. So this is only 700 electron pieces rather than the 800 yours was going to cost.
No, mine was gonna be 700. This surely should be 600.
You try? Are you trying this on?
Give me 1 second. I think I shall. I do believe I shall, but I just want to check. We've had a long rest recently, right?
Since the bar fight, yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. Let's try. Let's try it on.
What's your argument here?
I do think this is a really fine piece of steel, but fuck.
Lesley knocks the tea set over.
We dropped the tablet and the water at the same time.
I think this is a fine deal, Lesley says, leaning on the table. Of course, immediately tipping it over and spilling the tea set.
Oh god.
Cat yell.
I stand on the cat's tail.
Falls backwards through several shelves.
Oh, also the other thing you miss, Sarah, is Raleigh the cat is currently riding Derek like a horse. Just a cat on top of a dragon.
I need art of this.
There are only 2 people of the 7 of us who can draw, and that's you and Emma, so figure it out
I
for yourselves.
Emma,
You're
I implore you.
I can't draw cats.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna draw the ugliest doodle sketch ever.
Please.
I need paper.
Sorry,
Yeah, persuading.
Yeah, what was your argument?
Fine bit steel. Lesley, this is a fine bit of steel, but I think there's something about the scimitar that just the movement is kind of there, and it's not got such a.
Okay, I understand.
I feel that the balance with my other blade is not quite as. I don't feel as centered with this blade in my hand. I would be happy to take it off your hands, but I think I would be happier maybe if we could come to an agreement about the price.
I think an agreement would be agreeable for everyone.
Thank you.
That's a help action, surely.
Weak. Well, look, you're under no obligation to change up your fighting style, but certainly someone such as yourself would see it as a challenge. No?
Well, yes and no. I think I have done my share of training. I believe that I am finessed in many of the martial arts. And I also feel that the shop, I haven't seen so many people come and go. I do feel that having just jumped through all of the hoops we have jumped through, it possibly is something that few other adventurers would be so happy to do. And I don't want to. Your craftsmanship is beautiful and perfect, but I just feel that maybe 700 is a little bit steep for this item.
Roll me a persuasion check.
There's a hell of a line to go by. Your business is doing shit.
We were told it's doing shit. We were told.
No,
we're
you
not
weren't.
doing shit.
No.
We were told it's very
Incredibly, yeah, because everything costs a fortune.
Everything does cost a fortune. Exactly.
People don't
Expensive.
buy
Well,
magic items that often.
Let's see. And so, Lesley, I don't know if I have said this before. Leslie's going to try and use his commanding presence to increase the
It's
roll.
a hard DC, that's all I'm saying.
Flat is 19 plus persuasion.
Very
Am I wrong with
good.
persuasion?
Yeah.
So that's 24. And I think I'm still going to add the die, because you've just told me it's hard. That's a 10. That's an 8. That is 29.
I'll tell you
And-
what. Go on.
I do love the vibe of the place. I just want that clear.
I'll tell you what. I will reduce the cost of this dragonfly blade down to
699.
650 electrum pieces.
25 gold. Lost.
But
Yeah, there's a book.
you commission a pair, a duplicate, to go with it. Not right now, but we write up something such that the next time you have the funds, you allow me to produce you a secondary one.
Certainly works for me.
Of course, that will incur its own cost, but at least then you'll have a matching set.
Okay, so we're essentially writing an IOU for 650 now, 650 later.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I'm down. That means I get a double swords.
Once you have the electrum, feel free to come back around.
Much.
Right. Oh, so we've made it more complicated now.
Yes.
So, do you have the scrolls for Tauri ready?
I have the identify scroll that's fairly commonplace. The alarm and tiny hut, I need to reach out to my contacts at the Amaranthine Institute. But I'll certainly have them for you at the point where everything else is enchanted.
And you can take my bow now.
Certainly.
So, if we take the scroll and the sword now, we only owe you, at the moment...
Oh, you do not have any electrum on you. You can't take these items out of the shop.
I know. If we go away and get it and come back. This is a long day. It'll what? 800 electrum right now? Is it 150 electrum?
It
for the
is.
scroll?
It is worth bearing in mind to make sure that you haven't forgot this. Whatever electrum you take out now, you need to return
That's
to the
it.
bank by the end of business day.
So we
Anything
either
you
have
don't
to
spend.
take all of it
And you
out.
can only make one transaction.
That's why I'm really stressed and annoyed right now. The maths is like...
Basically,
Because-
it's all or nothing.
I know. No, we don't have to take all of it out. We could take a smaller amount out, and then we would just have to do the form again later on.
Correct.
Balrick's initial thing was, I don't want to do these paperwork again, so let's just pay for all of it after the fact. But now Leslie's got a +1 sword on the table in front of him. So it's like, do we take some of the money out now, pay
No,
and then back, or just get...
Leslie
do
doesn't
form?
need a +1 sword just to kill some rats.
Okay. So, we're going to get all the money out after the rat situation, after Tianlong. Come and buy everything all at once.
But with your various persuasion rolls, she is willing to start the enchantment on your bow in the meantime.
Yes.
Amazing. We love her.
Perfect. Plan done. That was the only thing, was the +1 sword, whether that messed it up. But if that's fine, if you're fine waiting on that.
No, I don't want to. Lesley does not want to enter a bank. Like, Lesley does not want to do any transactions right now.
No,
There's been so much.
Leslie,
So many
Emma does not want to
This is
think of banks right now.
This is the banking episode in my head.
Emma does not want to think about
to
banks
those
right
people
now.
who hate shopping episodes, welcome to a new hell.
Oh god.
There's a
that's
quill
great.
attached to a chain, but it's slightly too short for you to be able to write properly.
Ah!
Anyway, with that wrapped up, Bo being enchanted, she makes sure the details are covered. As you are then walking out the door, Raleigh does just jump off the back of deck to make sure they don't cross the threshold of the door before just waltzing back in and curling back up around the tea set at the center of the table and just curling up around the residual warmth of that.
So Lesley can have his money back then, because I don't need it right now. So Lesley can have his.
Let's gamble it!
Unless you want to keep it in the bank of Balrick. The bank brick.
No.
I vouch for the bank. It's very reliable, very trustworthy, and it's interest free. But you get
In fact,
a
actually,
growing money. You make money.
it's the reverse.
No,
it's
not-
you lose your money. Over
No,
It's got banking charges, banking fees.
no.
For storing the money, keeping it safe, it's fees. I think you invested, 200 gold in? You've got 100 gold.
No, that's not true.
I don't actually know. You didn't keep track.
No.
I never write it down. Did you write it down?
You just put because you just put money in the bank, and then whenever you need money, the bank gives you money, and it doesn't matter how much money
It is
you
a
put in.
bank of Balrick the Dad with Aderyn, isn't there?
Much as you lot debate this walking along the road, figuring out what you're going to do, Ximori,
Hello.
how much money do you have on you?
I have 2 silver pieces and 3 copper.
Cool.
What's the cheapest piece of shit booze I can buy?
Yeah, the wine shop that Tarquin sent you to.
I
even
immediately
with his-
ignored that
yeah,
one.
even with his discount, you're screwed. You do stop.
I'm going to the cheapest back alley place I could find.
Sure. You head round. You find a tavern and head round the back of it and purchase some. You purchase 12 bottles of brown ale, let's say, for a single silver piece.
Excellent.
The quality is yet to be determined.
The quality is brown.
Well, I got 12 of them for a silver, so...
Roll me a perception check.
Oh dear. Ooh. I like these new dice. They roll well. 19.
19. You completed the transaction because you didn't know what you were getting into until you were halfway through. But as you're doing it, the guy who hands them over, their sleeve does roll up slightly and does expose a small chain link on the arm. But you complete the transaction, move on. With that roll, I will give you, it doesn't seem like they show any signs of recognizing you. It's just something that you clock as part of the transaction.
Yeah. I just bought back alley booze off of a minor criminal.
Yes. But you do head back up to the Horizon Ward. What do you do with probably the 2 hours you have at the house before these lot get back?
There's a D12.
I'm curious what the D12
I drink 6 of the bottles.
makes you slightly tipped. As you do get back and you are sitting in the house alone, though, silence sets in, and then just a presence coming through the back of the head. Why? Why the church?
Because I follow the beliefs.
It hurts us.
It hurts you, maybe.
It hurts you. It hurts us. things we can do.
Like what?
Find strength.
Look, it's a holiday coming up, alright? And I'm going to be reflecting for a day, and then we're going to go down into the sewer, and there'll probably be stuff that needs killing, or shifting, or something. But not going back to the church for a while. Probably not.
Good.
This is probably the last stop at a church for a good while now. At least for me.
Good. Seems to satisfy him.
I continue on with the remaining 4 bottles that I hadn't drunk yet. To continue drinking half of the bottles that I bought.
At the point you lot get back, you spot a number of empty bottles and a slightly drunk Ximori, shall we say?
This stuff's shit.
Do you think they're okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just this stuff tastes... I mean, it doesn't taste good. It's not very strong. But it was cheap.
Would you like some wine to go with that?
Yeah. Oh, I got stuff, by the way. And I'll take out from the workman's thing, you know, the 2 hooded lanterns. And the... like... various waders and gloves. And then use my bag from the sex shop.
You're branded and everything.
And the leather masks that you asked about.
Oh, these have beautiful craftsmanship. Oh, they're the type that really lock your jaw into place, so you can't speak. Many
they
of
said
my
those are
partners
a little,
have previously requested I wear these.
They said, you know, that you can loosen those off a bit so you can still move your jaw and stuff.
Maybe we don't do that for Lesley.
I was not aware of that function.
Did you go straight to the leather mask?
Well, Lesley said leather mask, and the only other one they had looked like it would scratch your face up a lot, so I thought best not to get that.
The leather masks were a plan B. Were there not any medical grade ones?
Weren't any medical grade ones, but they had ones for, like, mining, but, like, they looked like they'd scratch your face up a lot more.
Okay.
And then you'd have open wounds in your face, which would be bad.
And these
Yeah.
are medical. I've seen nurses wearing these.
I mean, they're clean. I can tell you that much.
Well, it will help to stop any viruses and infections.
Oh,
Thank
and Tarquin's coming round later. Because there's as a present to you, Aderyn. Yes, that's what this is. We've been invited to a fancy ball.
Oh, do tell.
Nice.
What kind of ball?
On the last night of the festival, big fancy ball with the Martell family, I think.
Martell family is the ones who own the magic shop.
Did he give you a dress code?
Fancy. Oh, and it's a ball where you have to wear masks, so we can get 2 uses out of these.
Is it a ball where you have to wear masks, or is it a masquerade ball?
I don't think there'd be any raiding involved. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing you'd do at a fancy place. I mean, we're there as guests, Lesley. We're not there to steal.
Oh, maybe Ximori, we can have like a trading of cultures. Maybe I can teach you some things, and you can teach me some of your interesting moves.
Yeah, try that, I guess, but I don't get it. What have I missed?
Leslie's gonna sit Ximori down and like start lecturing them on what like different types of like functions are, including a masquerade ball.
See, my intelligence is 9, so let's go with D10. I stopped listening after a minute. Just glaze over.
This is perfect. It means that we can all have fun without anyone knowing who we are, so we don't have to be worried. Except, obviously, Togrim, you're recognizably short, and Balrick, you're recognizably tall. But the rest of us can have a lot of fun.
We could
You make it sound like there
have
won't be
Balrick
other
on his
gnomes
knees
at this
the whole night.
party.
Well, there might be, but will they be as short as you?
Yes. If they're... Yes, gnomes are all about my height.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll blend in, but Balrick, I don't think we're going to... Well, okay, fine, maybe. I suppose tall people exist too.
I'll be fine. I'll survive. Probably keep quiet, not, move to parties. I did realise, I think, with the mention of lanterns. First of all, I already have a lantern, so we bought extra lanterns. I already had a normal one. I have a magic lantern that isn't magic yet, it's broken. It's a bit of a retcon. Could I have asked about it?
Yeah, I mean, we can work on that.
Mysterious magic lantern inert.
You see, as we rewind back to the shop, briefly, you see Marina take a look over it, and you see her draw a glyph in the air that momentarily hangs in like a golden bronze light kind of thing, just in the air, and then a flash, like a torchlight goes across her eyes, reflecting the metallic bronze in there. Right. Yeah, this is a interesting find. It's something that we've made in the past ourselves, commonly referred to as an ever-bright lantern. Usually contains a gem on the inside enchanted with a relatively harmless spell. But on this one, as you can see, that gem, and she shows you inside, is cracked. So the enchantment has been lost. Should be possible to re-enchant if you wanted.
How much would that? How easy and how much?
Excellent question.
I'm throwing that onto you.
Don't worry. Well, the components required to enchant the spell come to roughly 100 electrum, and then with the man hours, I think I should be fairly straightforward to capture it. The process is well recorded, so you're probably looking at maybe 150 electrum. At which point it is basically a permanent lantern with no need for oil or anything of the kind to light it, and not technically holding fire if that were to be a problem.
That would have been useful before Ximori went and bought other ones, wouldn't it? I don't particularly have need of it. Can I sell it to you?
I suppose I could take it off your hands. It's not much magical at this point. I mean, it contains what's required to hold the enchantment, so it's slightly useful, but
I'll keep it then. I'll see if I can fix it another time. I'm not too busy with it right now, so.
Well, let me know if you change your mind. It's an interesting piece.
Appreciate it. Fast forward.
Back to you all in the house. At which point, just as the sun sets, there is a knock at the door.
That's probably Tarquin. Who's closest to the door?
I guess I'll go and open it.
Togrim and Tauri head over to the door together. You open the door, and indeed is the turquoise and orange scaled Dragonborn. Oh, hello, I'm so glad you're here. I have something to discuss with you. Is Ximori home? I gave them the good news in advance.
Hey, it's Aderyn.
Sure.
Excellent, you are home. Come on then. And he just kind of pushes past you. Right. Well, so, fabulous news. First of all, I'm glad you all seem a little better than last night. Although I'm hearing some interesting, juicy pieces about that, so maybe after a couple of glasses of claret, and he winks at Ximori, we can find some more common ground. Anyway, I came here to talk to you about the wonderful, I should say, opportunity and invitation you have to the Shengzi's ball at the end of the festival. After the final mass of the festival, there will be a lavish ball put on for all of the nobles in the city, and to be honest, quite a lot of them can be quite dull. Of course, my boys are going to be there, so I'll have some entertainment, but, at times it's more interesting to have others turn up. So I've managed to get in a good word and wrangle some invitations and find some people who are going to be away or ill and therefore off the guest list, and managed to fit you 6 in, if you want to come.
You want to come? You are such a darling. We would absolutely love to go. I hear it's a masquerade one.
It is indeed. Look, anything for the daughter of Von Barley, who can blame him? I don't suppose he's going to be around, be an excellent person to have perform.
He's usually very busy this time of year with his concerts, but I will send him a letter and let him know that at some point he should absolutely perform here.
I did think it was a long shot, but it can't hurt to ask. Right, yes, it is indeed a masquerade ball, so, classic style masks, I'm sure you understand, and all of you do understand the masks, the gowns, the outfit. Feel free to go all out. Now, I will say that it is technically part of the festival, so it is commonplace to try and make it respectable and demure with all of your outfits, but everyone pushes the boundaries a little bit to just show quite how good their fashion sense is. The night plenty of drinks, some talks, more importantly, dancing and music all told, as we all pull together and make a final push to improve everyone's lives in the community. You know, the standard, get the money from the rich people and hand it to the situations. My parents are very generous in that way.
So long.
Any questions? Excellent. In that case, I just have one question for you. Will you be there?
Yes.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, I will swing by just before the ball so we can all head over together. Thankfully, we took you to the Hazelnut Pagoda beforehand, so you've got your outfits all sorted, because otherwise you might be in a little bit of a pickle. But with all that out the way, drinks?
That's what I'm looking for.
Excellent. And he walks into the kitchen area of this house and opens up a cabinet none of you had looked in, and there's an entire wine rack in there. Just pulls out 2 bottles of wine. And just starts pouring them out. What do you want to do for the evening?
Well, Lesley is trying to teach me about masquerade balls, so I guess I'll try and teach Lesley something.
Would like to talk to Tauri to ask about a crash course on dragonology, if you please.
While wine glass in hand, all slightly tipsy, yeah?
Oh no, Aderyn's being really, really tame with her drink. So she's got 1 glass of wine, but she's sipping it very slowly, so very different to what she usually does.
Harkwin shares 1 bottle of wine with all of you, and then upon realizing that most of you are kind of taking it a low night, he excuses himself. It's like, I look forward to seeing you around the festival. Enjoy the wine. I'll make sure it's restocked before anyone asks. And I do want further answers as to what happened last night from you two, and just points at Aderyn and Balrick. But I'll leave it for another day. And just bids you adieu and heads out and leaves you to your business.
Tauri,
Oh, sorry.
just give me the keywords so that I sound like I know what I'm talking about.
We can try.
I'm gonna let Bryn riff, and I'll just interject if I need to.
Oh.
I haven't. To be clear, I haven't fecked with D&D Dragon Lore that much, but just see what you come up with.
So what do you know about dragons so far?
They are cool, and I know that usually they are big, but maybe I was confused and the big meant chunky. She looks like there. And I know that sometimes they breathe fire, but some of them don't breathe fire. They breathe other things, and that's all I know.
Good stuff.
I suppose starting off with the basics is probably the best thing. And she will pour 15 drinks, not all alcoholic,
Right.
trying to get them as different colour as possible to match up with the types of dragons.
Sure. My brain is going, not sure how you're doing that with what's in the house, but you find a way.
There's some, they're not perfect.
There's
obviously.
shades and tones of wine.
Yes, and so there's some whiskey added to get a bit of gold in there and bronze and stuff like that.
It does enough for your demonstrative purposes, let's go
Yes.
with that.
Yeah. There are 3 families, is the easiest way to put it. You have the fanatics. They're more of your firebrand kind of dragons. They take more what they want, from what I understand. They're more about themselves than anything else. So you got your basics: red, blue, green, black, and white. Pushing on past that, you've got your metallics. They can be more about the greater good, but they will still want to make sure that they make it their own. Do we have silver? No.
Silver, gold, bronze, brass, and copper.
I always think, it's platinum I was getting confused with. Yeah.
Platinum is a dead.
Platinum and silver.
You know about.
Always. No.
Well, some of you know that.
Unlike the third family, these first 2 families are almost mirror images of one another. Red and gold, for example, both breathe fire. Silver and white both breathe ice. So there's a lot of the dichotomy with these 2. The third one is where things get less elemental. From what I understand, these are your gems. The gem dragons, as they're known. Again, I think there is 5. I haven't looked at gem dragons recently, so
Right,
I'm
there's
doing
5. You're good.
Yeah. Amethyst.
Amethyst crystal, which you have in the room with you.
Well, do we know he's crystal?
It's the closest approximation you've got.
Well, I know because I saw his parents.
But I meant for Tauri at the closest approximation.
Yeah.
You have amethyst, crystal, topaz, sapphire, and emerald.
Oral can give Derek a pat and say, that's what this one is.
They are, as I said, they are not elementals. They are more esoteric.
I will interject to give you something here. To be founded, that's more founded on the religion and the culture that you wouldn't get from reading documentation, shall we say. They are viewed as the children of Kelarashi, the Jade Dragoness. All three are to an extent, but they are viewed as the closest to her and, like, for lack of a term, the Holy Five.
Would we know this? Yeah, we would.
Yeah, like, dragons are used in all sorts of cultural mythology or, like, foundations.
As I said, these five aren't... They don't have an opposition number, as it were, like the previous two. So, in the law of the Empire, they sit above the other 10, closer to the Jade Dragon than any other, bar her son or prophet.
I'll clarify that.
That's Bryn getting it wrong.
That's fair. I was just thinking of how to phrase it. Rethmexiel, Pureheart, the original Emperor, for lack of a better term, was. It's an odd one. The dragons are seen as closer. They are like the true children. He was a champion / son.
Yes.
Divine ambiguity.
Jesus Christ figure.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why I said son / prophet.
Yeah, is the debating the closeness element. What I will ask you to do, Bryn, for me, is roll a religion check for me. To see how well... Yeah.
Religion, you say? Oh, why did you... No, oh, screw you. Hold on.
Gotta love tech.
No. I thought I'd opened up a new tab in order to suddenly hit Fizzbans to try and remind myself of all the frickin' gem dragons. I had religion.
Yeah.
17.
17. Good enough. Plenty good enough, to be honest. I'll give you this, and you can explain it in your own words within the element. The three families sit within kind of the mythos of the Empire, how they're utilised in spreading message and their place within the pantheon of dragons, for lack of a better term, is chromatic and metallics operate at the extremes of personal id, essentially, where chromatics are viewed as the ultimate negative extreme, where the individual becomes so focused on themselves they tear down everyone else as part of the process. The metallics are the positive extreme, where they become so focused on themselves they distance themselves from the community and therefore don't help.
Okay.
And the gems sit in the ideal center, where they are about harmony and sharing their capabilities and their knowledge and working as a group to achieve greater things. So the extreme ones have their purpose in messaging, and we should learn from them to an extent, but then there's this perfect center.
To backtrack slightly, because I was there with the chromatic, I was in the middle more with metallic.
Yeah.
So, do we have yin and yang symbols?
Not particularly. One of the common symbols of the Jade Empire. One of the common symbols of the Jade Empire is essentially a coiled dragon around a trio of eggs in the center.
I was going to go with a different idea. Pull out a piece of paper, and roughly draw 2 dragons eating the tail of the other in a circle, with in the centre another dragon coiled up, and go, this is common throughout the history of the Empire. You can see here the metallic and the chromatic are pretty much opposites, battling for dominance when they meet. The chromatics are known for taking what they want to the detriment of others. The metallics understand their nature and choose to avoid that nature getting away from them, so you will rarely see them. And then in the centre you have the, in quotes, elevated gems, who embody the betterment of each side of their cousins and work together with the population, the civilization, whatever you want to call it, the populace, for the betterment of all rather than for the betterment of one.
Okay, so let me see if I have this correct. 3 families, 2 peasant families. One of them is evil, they're the dull-colored one, chromatics as you say. Then there's the good family, they're metallic, so they're shiny. So the shiny are the same as the dull ones, but because they're shiny, they're more good, and the other ones are more bad. And they are opposites, and because they are extreme, we don't like radicals. So they're both kind of bad, even though one of them are the good guys because they're shinier. And then in the middle and above, we have the royal family of dragons. They're divine and holy, and that's why they are gemstones, because, you know, they could be put on a crown. And because they are above, they take from both, and so they're in the middle, and so they are perfect, and they work with society. And wait, so if both the dull ones and the shiny ones are elemental, and they kind of have the same things, does that mean that the gemstone ones have different powers? Like, what about amethyst? That's purple, right? What is that one? Wait, and crystal, Balrick, you say Derek is a crystal one?
So I think so.
She's gonna like kneel next to Derek and she's gonna grab his face and she's gonna go, "You're from the royal family of dragons. You're a little prince."
He's a little bit of a strange one.
You're not one of those peasant dragons. No, you're not. You're one of the gem ones.
I will admit, I will pay money to see her call any of the other dragons peasants. I'm not sure there'll be much of her left, but it will be amusing to see.
It's like,
Yeah, Derek's just like, what's happening?
Will I have ever seen depictions and stuff of dragons before?
I think it's realistic.
Cool. Can I burn through 3 silent images to show? I know the duration's 10 minutes, so say however many you want to be able to change, to be able to do a rotation of all 15 dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So you can clearly see that metallic ones aren't dull. They're very... chromatic ones aren't dull.
They are vibrant in their colour, yeah.
They are extremely vibrant.
Yeah, Aderyn's gonna just be looking at the images just in complete awe.
Oh wow, 15-foot cube. Stuff it, I'm gonna have all 15 fly around her head.
Sick.
That's so cool!
Actually, I don't think I can make them fly.
I don't care.
Will
you can make a keyframe animation, just like
It's like a PowerPoint presentation.
Will Aderyn have
Bad
seen
Skyrim mod.
images of the Dragoness? I don't know if, like, the Empire has imagery of the Dragoness on display.
Ish. they have representations of a jade dragon in various churches and the like. You possibly get the sense it's a depiction of her rather than necessarily the true embodiment.
Oh, the dragoness, is she also a gem dragon? Or is there like a level above that?
He is the holy god of the Empire.
Progenitor would be the word I would use.
It's fine.
No, I think you're right in what you said. I'm just giving you the word.
Yeah.
The additional word.
Here's a better one. She is the holy godmother of the Empire.
Do you think maybe she embodies all of the gemstone ones?
If anything, she will embody all of the dragons.
All 15. Maybe she's rainbow colored. So, what do the amethyst dragons do?
You're going to need to roll me a nature check, and it is not an easy DC, bro.
Fine.
Just because,
Nature.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is something that Tauri would have researched and studied.
Well, the dice say fuck you because that is a 23 with a natural 20.
Fair enough. Give me a
I'm
second.
not expecting to be able to know they have this many veins and this many wing bones.
No, what you do have... what you do have is essentially what they represent, like the messaging behind them.
Yeah.
In particular. Amethyst dragons are used... Their symbology is focused on the study of the world. So other dragons may represent other aspects or ideals. The Amethyst Dragon, to embody and idolize an Amethyst Dragon, is to find your purpose and discover yourself through understanding the world around you. They're individuals who desire to know as much as possible to know themselves. Words associated with that are probably stuff like one is understanding balance in all things. Knowledge and responsibility. That's what the symbology of Amethyst Dragons holds dear within the culture and the religion of the Empire.
Tauri is going to find a log. So a log of wood.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there a wooden board big enough for Aderyn to stand on? Cool. She puts the wooden board on top of the log and tells Aderyn to balance on it.
I will try.
Roll me an acrobatics check.
Okay. That is an 8.
It doesn't go well.
I ask Lesley to do the same thing.
Lesley's 7 glasses of wine drunk.
Only 7.
Past drunk.
Leslie's been explaining masquerade balls to Ximori for the past 2 hours.
And you are extremely drunk.
And we are extremely drunk, I think.
Balrick, would you help out here?
What do you need me to do?
Balance on the board.
Easy, fine.
I hope you fall.
Steps on it, snaps through the ball. I'll balance, I'll do acrobatics.
Yeah.
I'm not amazing. That's 25.
They're just showing me up.
Before that happens, I will give you a couple of other elements on that nature check, Bryn, for Amethyst Dragons. Amethyst Dragons, from a technical standpoint, from a realistic standpoint, you maybe found a textbook ages ago that kind of went into the details of them, like ancient accounts of them, because no one's really seen them in modern times. Are said to show power over the forces of physics, essentially. Showing an ability to fly without wings, manipulate gravity, exert incredible forces at a whim.
They're able to bend what we know of the material plane.
Yeah.
To
They
put
are
it in our speak.
extremely powerful ones. Oh, yeah. I just felt that was more pertinent. That was...
Yeah, that's fair. Amethyst Dragons are to do with balance. About balancing what you desire against what nature desires and needs. They show great ability to have control over the material plane themselves. Doing things, from what I've read, that isn't possible except through magic, yet they cast nothing. They are the embodiment of being at one with yourself in nature and knowing yourself.
Aderyn kind of put a hand over her dragon eye tattoo, which is purple, and we'll just say, they sound powerful and special.
All dragons are. Those 5 above the others.
Are they common?
I don't... Have any gem dragons been seen?
I've seen one.
Not
I've
for
seen two.
not for a very long time.
Have they been seen since Stoneshore joined?
Central joined, what, 3 centuries ago? Something like
That, yeah.
that? Amethyst? No.
Any of the other gems?
Others have been seen.
Okay.
They're not a common sight, but there
No,
are
I
recorded
didn't-
events across the Empire.
How many are we talking about? Like 1 or 2 a century?
Slightly more than that. Yeah, no more than half a dozen. A century at most.
Hold up your hand and count the fingers. That's how many times a gem dragon has been seen in a century, at most. As for Amethyst, not since Stoneshore became part of the Empire. So at least 8 generations ago. 6 generations ago, depending on lifespan.
I hope it's because they've gone into hiding and not because they've gone extinct. But I suppose that makes Derek extremely rare. No wonder everyone keeps staring at him, and no wonder they want Derek at the festival.
Suppose that makes sense. Why am I standing on this board? Balrick has been standing like on tiptoes, proper ballet dancing, just like meditating.
Show Aderyn what somebody who has control of themselves could do.
Oh, so you made her stand on the board just to dunk on her?
It was to show her that balance is what amethyst dragons are.
Yeah, I suppose if I was to choose a dragon for myself, I would be the opposite of an amethyst. not exactly in control of myself.
Comes with time.
I wonder quizzes in the Empire Library, like personality quizzes, like, oh, you would be this dragon, you would be that dragon, according to what you choose, and maybe there's like a whole cult to do with this.
It's a daily newspaper that's delivered by bees.
Ah, yes. It's on the subject of what they eat. You won't believe what this dragon did. Number 5 will surprise you.
Well, you have a foundation. Tauri themselves hasn't necessarily researched dragons to an extensive degree in their life yet. So both of you suspect that there's possibly much more that you can learn from Cyric or from the Amaranthian Institute, depending on your preference. But I do think there is a decent place for us to stop, as you all, to varying degrees, enjoy the evening, glasses of wine in hand for some, water for others, mixed concoctions of whiskey, wine, and other liquids for dragon colours for others. We will leave our story there on the eve of Tianlong and pick up next time in the city of Dothras. But until then, see you later.